Good morning. I'm Lori Pierce, and I am so thankful that I have this opportunity to share some of my recipes with you today with Philadelphia cream cheese and a myriad of other ingredients. I like to pretend that I'm a lady of leisure. I love things like bubble baths and pedicures and facials, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a fabulous loaf of bread. I call it my Hungary bread, and that's because it incorporates Hungarian paprika as well as Philadelphia cream cheese to sort of approximate a paprikash sauce. And this bread dough is so forgiving that I don't even need to show you. You can see the recipe, you can see what ingredients go in, you let your bread maker go to work. While your bread maker is going to work, you can do something fun like a pedicure or a facial. And then when your bread maker is finished doing all of the work, you simply pull the bread out. You lightly flour a cookie sheet, you line it with some parchment paper, and then you dump out your dough. It's that simple so far. So we're going to dump out our dough, and the reason I chose to show you this part of the recipe is because most people might be a little intimidated about working with their dough. The trick to this recipe is getting it elongated, and once you get the dough elongated, then you can fold it like an envelope sort of and put in your fillings. I have already sauteed some onions in butter and the Hungarian paprika. Notice how I am gently rolling this into a tube, and as it begins to elongate, I flip it over and roll it from the other side, from the middle out, flip it again, roll it, and you can even pull it very gently to get it moving along. You kind of want to make sure that the weight will drop it as you keep working it. This takes literally 1 to 2 minutes, that's all. As you can see, it's forming right now. And since it's not all that easy to describe on paper what I'm doing with the folds, I thought it would be best to show you. All right, we're pretty much done. We've got 12 to 14 inches here. We're going to lay it down on our pan. I'm going to take the heels of my hands and I'm going to beat it. Just going to flatten it out, and that's good enough right there. See there what we got? All right, now I am going to take Philadelphia 1/3 less fat, chive and onion cream cheese, about, I don't know, 3 tablespoons, 1/3 of a cup, 1/4 of a cup. I can't remember what my recipe says. 1/4 cup. And then I'm going to approximate about a teaspoon of the Hungarian paprika. You can use any paprika you want. I like this because it's usually very fresh and pungent, sweet. Dump it all in, mix it up. There we go. It is that easy. Now, I'm going to drop this, kind of slide it onto my bread, 3 or 4 dollops. Ta-da! And I'm going to spread it out gently, sort of covering the whole bread, maybe leaving a 1/4 inch or so around the edges. This is a very forgiving dough. You can pretty much beat up on it, and it's not going to detract at all. And you'll be really surprised when you take this out of the oven and you slice into it. We'll show you that. How beautiful it is. It's a showstopper at a dinner party. This loaf serves 4. You can easily double, triple this loaf. Your bread maker will allow for a triple recipe. This recipe is a 1/2 cup of water and a cup of bread flour with a 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour and a bunch of other stuff. Actually, not a bunch. Salt, olive oil, yeast, thyme, garlic, and onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of each. Look it up on the web and you'll see how easy it is. Now, I've already prepared some onions. I've sliced a 1/2 of an onion pole to pole, and I've sauteed it with yet another teaspoon of the Hungarian paprika and about a 1/2 tablespoon of butter. I'm going to get that, and I'm going to take that and go ahead and put it onto my bread pole. What shall we call this? evenly distribute. And we're going to take one end, we're going to fold it over a little over half, and the other end. See what I mean about the envelope? I don't quite know what to call this. Stretch it out, fold it over, and now you end up with a little bit of a square. Take this loaf and cover it with a clean cloth and put it in, I like to put it in whichever oven I'm not using, and just put the light on and there's some warmth, but it's a draft-free area. We're going to let this rise for an hour. It kind of gets, it rests, it gets happy with itself, the flavors kind of meld together, and then we'll pop it into a 500-degree oven. But for right now, I'm going to go take a bubble bath. Well, I'm back, I'm dressed, I had a fabulous bubble bath, and it's time to put our bread into the oven. Look how this has risen. I can tell without even uncovering it. Woohoo! Isn't that pretty? That's just pretty. Now, I'm going to spray this bread with water. This helps with the crisping and browning process. If you don't have a sprayer, just take some water in your hands and gently pat it over the bread. That's it. 500-degree oven. Now, as soon as I put this into the 500-degree oven, I am going to turn the oven down to 450. That way, the higher heat gives bread a chance to really rise. It reactivates the yeast one last time. And in order that things don't burn and the bottom doesn't burn, I go ahead and turn it down immediately to 450, so the oven is swilling around at 500 degrees, but you don't have a direct heat element going back on preheat or anything for almost the duration of the bake, which is exactly 15 minutes. So let's set our timer and let's wait for that bread. Okay, we're back with our bread. It's come out of the oven. It's spent about 10 minutes on a cooling rack, and now I'm going to cut into it so you can see how gorgeous it is. Look at that. Creamy, swirly, paprika-y, and I'm real fond of the heel, so I'm going to take a bite. And it's still warm. Oh, ooey gooey warm. Have some. Sorry to tease you. Oh boy, that's good. I can't wait for you to try this. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.